You guys, the whole problem with dating apps.
Dating apps.
Welcome back to the Dating View. In today's video, people talk about one of the most debated topics in modern dating. Men and women share why they believe dating apps have become a major problem in today's dating world, and why so many connections formed online seem to fail. From endless options to shallow interactions and short attention spans, these are the real reasons people feel dating apps are changing how relationships begin and why they often don't last. If you enjoy honest conversations like this, make sure to hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos about the reality of modern dating.
My friends and I came up with this analogy for online dating, and I need to share it with you. It is using a dating app is like dumpster diving. You are quite literally wading through trash trying to look for something worthwhile. Now, some people will come on here and be like, hold on, I did dumpster diving and I found a brand new Dyson Airwrap that was thrown out by Ulta and it was just sitting there and it's perfect and I'm so happy. I'm so happy for those girls too. I'm so happy for anyone who has done online dating and it has worked out for. For the majority of girls, it is just quite literally opening trash bag after trash bag and finding nothing but useless stuff and trying to convince yourself that it was worth jumping in this dumpster. And it wasn't worth jumping in the dumpster, but you keep convincing yourself, no, because this is how I'm gonna find a Dyson Airwrap, I have to keep dumpster diving if I want a chance at finding a Dyson Airwrap. But my argument is we need to get out of the dumpster. We need to walk into a Sephora or walk into a Dyson store and find the Dyson there. And by that, I mean spending your time actually cultivating a community in the space where you would want to find your partner. For example, my friend is looking for a Christian man who loves hiking as much as she does. Instead of spending time on dating apps with people who claim to like those things, go join a group of people who actually spend their weekends going on hikes, or join a new Bible study full of people who are going to possibly introduce you to your new husband. And people are going to say, well, that's going to take too much time. That takes too much energy and too much time. I don't have that time and energy. Is it really more time and energy than it takes to keep getting ready and putting yourself together for a date or a drink with some random guy that you met on the internet who is going to ghost you over and over and over again? Because I will tell you right now, that is a humiliation ritual and we should not be feeding into it anymore. So get out of the dumpster and go into the store.
Keep seeing on TikTok that everyone hates Hinge. Hinge is dead. Hinge is over. Dating apps suck and there's no one good on the apps. I actually disagree. I think that everyone who's bad is on the apps, but not everyone on the apps is bad. This is gonna be a little bit controversial, but I think people saying that there's no one good on the apps is terribly wrong because you're on the apps. Naturally, there must be the opposite sex equivalent of someone like you who's just hoping to find love. I would in fact say that there are too many good people on the apps and that it's too tough to weed out who's good and who's not. It's called optionality curse, where you have too many options so you can't choose. It's like when you go to a restaurant and the menu's too big, or you go to the grocery store and there are 1,000 different options. The reason that people fight to get on Raya is because it's exclusive, and because it's exclusive, there are less people on it. It would be much easier to make a decision if there were just two options. The real problem with dating apps is that there are too many people and too many options, and I recommend using Cuffed. Cuffed is an invite-only dating app that you have to pay for. That's two barriers to entry that only serious daters are willing to jump through. Anyone can create a Hinge profile with 6 pictures that they have in their camera roll. It takes just a little bit more effort to start a Cuffed profile, but again, not everyone on the apps is terrible, because remember, you're on the apps.
Because if you match on a dating app, it's like, okay, we matched, now what? Okay, yeah, let's get coffee. Okay, what's your schedule like? What's my schedule like? Okay, our schedules are both fucked. Our schedules are jam-packed. And now it's like, okay, maybe we can meet up in 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks, how are you supposed to text her for 2 weeks before you meet her? And now it's like, it's 2 weeks have gone by, and what are you supposed to say? Hey, it's me again. Are you free? She's got 15 other matches. She's got 100 other matches by the time your schedules fucking line up, right?
This is why dating apps are trash. For the girls listening, there's only 2 types of guys on dating apps. The first type, they just want to smash. That's it. You're not going to get anything else more from them. The second type, guys that are too weak to talk to girls in public. I have news for you. Both of these guys will disappoint you. For the guys listening, there's 2 types of girls on dating apps. First, girls that are desperate and reaching for a relationship. And 2, girls that are just tire kickers and wanting the validation and the attention. There's only one reason why anyone, anywhere in the world, goes to an app store and downloads a dating app. They are not participating in their lives enough. People who have great social circles, are involved with their lives, and are proactively working on themselves, They don't have the time nor the bandwidth to even be involved on a dating app. It's a lazy person's approach to dating. Swipe left, swipe right. And trust me, you will be swiping left most of the time. And for those of you who know people who met their soulmate on it, they both weren't that great socially, and they got lucky. Because mathematically speaking, the probabilities are simply not in your favor. The best interactions and the chances of meeting someone are in real life. 80% of how we communicate is represented in our body language anyhow. It's a much more deep and enriching experience to meet someone than doing so on a dating app. So when you're being normal and living your life, like how our parents and how our grandparents did it, you're going to have a much higher chance of meeting someone that you're compatible with, because it's quite simply us human beings socializing and being human.
Do you want to know why dating apps doesn't work really well these days? It's because of the Tinder swiping left and right user interface. When Tinder came about to the market, the idea of swiping left, swiping right becomes so easy for us to say yes or no and quickly make a decision on someone. Basically, allowing us to go through a lot of profiles really, really fast and also homing on to just the looks. There are obviously some pro with that, right? It made obviously Tinder and it changes the dating app scenario. Even nowadays on LinkedIn, you can swipe left and right to see who you follow, which is crazy. You're like, I like them, I don't like them, whatever. But it actually disconnects us even more because we're not actually looking into that person in details, right? Because sometimes we just have bad profile pictures, or sometimes beauty, it's difficult to be described with just pictures and physical appearances, obviously. With my dating app, stay tuned because it's coming. I want to change that. I'm going to bring back the good old days where we really get to know each other a little bit more. Get to know them, observe a little bit more, seek it out, and then make a decision if you guys want to engage. Anyways, it's coming up. And if you're not on my waiting list yet, please go to my bio, sign up. It's coming in January to a city near you. So comment below if you are wanting me to launch in your city. I know I've asked this question before, but I'm going to ask again. So stay tuned.
I just went on the worst date of my life. I want an Asian so bad. I want an Asian so fucking bad. And there's two Asians that have been in my DMs for so long. So I went on a date with him. He's a lawyer. The whole conversation was just so stale. He's my age. He's 28 years old. So stale. Guess where I met him? Tinder. Lo and behold, Tinder sucks. All these dating apps suck. All my girlfriends have all these lovely boyfriends because we don't have access to all these smaller dating apps like Coffee Meets Bagel or Raya or Hunch or anything else. All we have is Grindr and Stiffies and Hinge and Bumble and Tinder. All these bigger dating apps suck. I want to use Hunch. Gay people, please get on Hunch because my girls rave about it. And all.
I was catfished on a dating app a few years ago, and it still haunts me to this day. I was in LA. This was probably like 2017, 2018. And I just moved to LA, and, I was trying to date. I was trying to meet some people. I was trying to, be out there. And I met somebody online, and we were messaging earlier in the day, probably around like 2, 3 o'clock for a couple of hours. And by like 6 o'clock, they're like, hey, why don't we hang out tonight? Like, why don't we do something tonight? I was like, all right, cool. So I didn't have a car at the time. And I asked my brother, it's like, hey, can I borrow your car to go hang out with this girl tonight? We're just going to go grab drinks or whatever. He's like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, just bring it back in one piece. That's all that matters. So it's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And she's like, yeah, all right, I'm ready. Like, come on over. Meet me here. So I start driving over. And I'm new to LA at this point, so I don't really know, like, neighborhoods and stuff. And where I pull up, it's a dark street. There's no cars. There's no apartments. On one side is the train that goes through LA. And then on the other side is like a bunch of storage units, like a storage place. I'm like, okay, that's weird. That's a weird place to meet somebody, but okay. And I think maybe they just got off the train. I don't know. So I'm like, all right, I pull up and I'm waiting. I'm like, hey, I'm here. And they're like, oh, I don't see you anywhere. Like, where are you? I said, I'm parked over in this area. They're like, what kind of car are you in? Why don't you get out? Why don't you like stand up? Like, let me see you. I was like, nah, I'm just in this car. Like, there's nobody else around. Like, I don't see you. Where are you at? And they're kind of being dodgy on some of the questions. So yeah, after like 4, 5, 6 minutes of me just sitting in the car being like, where are they at? I see a Prius pull up. I see a car pull up probably like 20, 30 yards ahead of me. And a guy hop out with a duffel bag and just standing on the street. And when I say like, it's just me and this person, there's nobody else around. There's no other lights on. Like, it's just me. And then there's one person, the car drives off. So it must've been an Uber or something. And I just see a guy standing there with a duffel bag and I'm texting. I'm like, hey, like, I'm still here. Where are you at? And I see this guy texting, oh, I don't see you. Like, where are you? And so I'm kind of piecing together that he probably is the person I'm messaging, but curiosity killed the cat. So I don't know at this point. I'm thinking like, I'm just going to see this through. I'm curious. I want to know what happens next, which is not smart, which is dumb. So then I say, hey, like, I don't see you. Like, I'm just going to go home. And they're like, oh, you know what? My bad. I sent you the wrong address. Pull up here instead. Like, that's my bad. I sent you the wrong address. I said, all right, cool. I pull up to this other address, like a mile away. I go to this different address. Same situation. It's on a dark street. There are apartments on one side, but there's storage units on the other side. And I'm just thinking, like, where is this person trying to meet me? Like, I'm so confused. So I pull up, the same thing. I'm sitting in my car. Now, my brother plays hockey, so he had a hockey bag in the back, and he had a stick that was, like, kind of poking through right here. So I'm just thinking, I'm going to pull that thing out, and I can defend myself if I need to. But I'm sitting there waiting in this parking lot of, like, this storage place by some apartments, and I'm thinking, all right, maybe I had the wrong address, whatever. Sure enough, a few minutes go by again. We're doing the same game of, like, hey, I'm here. Where are you? Oh, what car are you in? Get out of the car. Like, I don't see you. This is what they're telling me to do. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'll just wait in my car. Like, you can get in the car though. Like, you know, if I see you, like, you know, whatever. But I can't see them. I don't see anybody. Again, 4 or 5 minutes of this going back and forth. A different car pulls up. Same guy hops out. He's got a duffel bag and he's just standing on the side of the road now. And it's me and him. And there's a gas station a little bit further down. And there are some people kind of walking by across the street. So I'm like feeling a little bit more like I'm around people. I should be okay here. Still didn't ever want to get out of the car though. Again, we're playing this back and forth game and I'm seeing him like look at his phone. Like I send a message, I see him look at his phone, type back a message, and then I get a message. And I'm like, I know this is who it is, but I just am like so curious. What are they trying to do? What's the setup here? Which again is dumb and stupid. Don't be like me. So after, again, a few minutes back and forth, I decided to like drive the car back down and up and down the road. To like maybe get a better glance because he's like further down from me. So I can just see a silhouette. I can't make out any, details. And after doing this a few times, I realized, like, what am I doing? Like, I should just go home. This is super sketchy. And so, yeah, I texted them and I was like, are you the guy with the duffel bag? And they didn't respond now for like a few minutes, whereas before it was like every second they were just like responding immediately. And a couple minutes go by and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, that's my friend. He has the beers. He was going to meet you down there so you can come upstairs. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I freaked out and I like rolled down my window and I was like, F you. Like I screamed something to them and then I just sped off. And I ended up getting home and they were messaging me like a ton of stuff. Like, no, like you got it all messed up. Like, that's not what was going to happen. Like, it was just my friend. Like, he was going to meet you. He was going to join us. I was like, why would you not tell me that? That's super sketchy. They're like, no, you got it all twisted. Like, trying to make me look like the bad guy. So, moral of the story is, that was basically it. And it's a little anticlimactic. But, moral of the story is, these apps out here are sketchy. They could be very dangerous. You don't know who you're talking to. Please proceed with caution and be smart. Share your location with friends. Like, let people know you're going to meet somebody. Because, yeah, like, you don't know who you're meeting. You don't know who you're talking to. Especially in these bigger cities, too. But, like, in small towns as well. Like, just be careful. Don't be like me. Don't be super curious. Because that's what they say, right? Curiosity killed the cat. So, I hope you're... Sorry, cut off there. But moral of the story, just be careful. Protect yourself. Don't get yourself caught up in trouble or in a bad situation. And, yeah, that's all I got.
Dating apps have ruined the way that we connect, not because of the people, but because of the psychology behind the design. They are built on one of the most famous experiments in psychology. In the 70s, researchers ran the marshmallow test. They put a marshmallow in front of a kid and said, you can eat this now or you can eat 2 in 15 minutes. Some waited and some didn't, and the kids who could delay gratification ended up more successful in life. In relationships, careers, you name it. That is because they could tolerate the short-term discomfort for something better long-term. Dating apps are built to do the the exact opposite. They have trained our brains for instant gratification. You get the dopamine hit now, swipe, match, text, validation. But the moment it's not perfect, gone, swipe left, next person. You're not building connections, you're chasing chemical loops. And what happens when you do that for long enough? Lose patience for real relationships. Find that unfold slowly, that require awkward pauses, vulnerability and repair. Find where someone doesn't just instantly click, they grow on you. Dating apps gamified connection. But our brains aren't actually built for infinite choices, they're built for bonding. And when you're constantly rewiring it to chase novelty over intimacy, you end up exhausted, disconnected, and wondering why nothing sticks. So if your dating life feels broken, you can blame the system. It's training you to fall for the marshmallow test over and over again.
Do not download dating apps in 2025. So a few months ago, I decided to put myself on the clearance aisle of the dating world, which is basically creating a profile on a dating app. And that dating app was Hinge. So there I am, swiping right, left, getting insulted by the most compatible that Hinge gives you every now and then. And then next thing I know, I finally get that notification that says that I matched with somebody. So I start, going back and forth with this girl, the usual small talk, where are you from, what do you do for work, blah, blah, blah. And then I end up getting her number. So I think maybe we text for like a day or two. And then I had planned that weekend to go out with two of my close friends. So I start telling my boy about it. I'm like, hey, I'm talking to this girl. I'm thinking about, inviting her, whatever. And what do? I show him her profile. And my boy proceeds to give me probably the blankest stare I've ever seen in my life. And he kind of just tells me right there and then that he's also talking to this girl. Which, hey, it is a dating app. That's what it's meant for. But damn, what are the odds that it's practically my best friend talking to the same girl? So I hit up the girl and I tell her, hey, it actually turns out that you're talking to my friend too. So any normal, typical person at that point would probably just, kind of cut the conversation off and probably never talk to me again. But this girl proceeded to add us both to a group chat and quote for quote said, problem solved. I really don't know what it is with women in 2025, but goddamn, y'all are bold and shit. It's kind of funny and I don't mind it. So she ends up actually going on a date with my boy, and I guess the date went okay, but they kind of fizzled off after a while. And then she hits me back up and tells me, hey, I think I made the wrong choice. At that point, it's just cooked. I'm like, hey, there's absolutely no way that I, can date you after you were with my friend. But we end up actually becoming friends, and she keeps life pretty entertaining with all the stories she tells me about her love life. And she continues being very bold. So shout out to her.
You know what's crazy about Hinge? As a man, I have to tell you how tall I am. But as a woman, you do not have to tell me if you are biologically a woman. And I think you guys know where this is going. So I was texting this girl and things were going good. She was cute. I screenshot her profile, sent it to my friends. They all said she was cute. So we linked up. We were going to go to this haunted house down in San Diego. And I pull up. She gets in my car. I'm like, okay, there's something a little bit off about you. So the voice, the mannerisms, just there's something off. So I went about 30 minutes driving back and forth in my head. This is a man. This is a woman. This is a man. This is a woman. I didn't know, okay? But when we got there, I got out of the car and I gave her one of these, like, hey, it's super nice to meet you. Gave her a hug, held her hand, gave her a little handshake. Bro, I felt that fucking grip strength. I knew. The moment she grabbed my hand, that was a man's grip strength. So now I'm at this haunted house in line with what I now know used to be a man, right? And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Do I leave? Am I just gonna stay here? What's gonna happen? So eventually I was just like, fuck it, I am never gonna go through a haunted house with a trans woman ever again in my life. I might as well stick around and just see what's up with this. And you know what, bro? She was cool as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. She was cool as fuck. We were making jokes. It was a good time. It crossed my mind. It definitely crossed my mind. But I just couldn't do it. And this is no shade at the trans community. We love trans women on this page. But I would just like to know that before I take you out.
So dating apps are dead. I re-downloaded Tinder and Hinge because I had them deleted for quite some time, because whenever I start talking to a girl and things start getting serious, I delete them out of respect. I re-downloaded them, and I'm gonna be honest, the women on there were weird. This is weird. And I just was like, this is it? Like this, they're weird, or like they take weird pictures, or their bios are weird. And I mean, there's a few, on there that were my type, but it's about time, because these dating apps, I honestly don't think that they were a good thing. And I feel like women have to be honest with themselves too, and probably admit that they didn't like what they were getting from them. Maybe you feel that the men on there were weird, or you'd get a bunch of ridiculous DMs. A homegirl showed me her DMs before, and guys are saying a bunch of crazy shit on there. You know what I mean? I got a wife and a couple kids, but I still have to be with you. And it's just like, what? And a lot of humiliation kinks, like, step on me, princess. And it's like, what? But jokes aside, it's like, I know that the dates weren't going that well neither. Well, a lot of them. And it was never supposed to be that way. That's why when society pushed this idea of let's leave each other alone out in the world, it's like, no, it can't be that way. You have to meet someone out in the wild if you want, to start a relationship, or find yourself a wife, find yourself a husband, because you get the first impression of them. You get to see how they are. It's a good test. But instead, the only thing that you can say is, well, I mean, I saw his or her pictures and we typed to each other and stuff. Now we're going to meet. And it's turned these dates into damn job interview. So, this woman isn't getting the best from this man because, well, he feels like he's put on the spot. He's not that comfortable, and there's not a pressure on him. So he may not be performing in a date very well. The conversations may be awkward. And you as a woman don't really get to vet the guy out as well, like as if you met him out in the real world. So it's about time, because now, again, if you want to meet someone, you women are going to have to be more open to the idea of a guy coming up to you respectfully. And you men, if you want that girl, you got to go and say something. And I'll tell you one thing, the baddies that you're looking for, like, I want a girl that's got her head on straight. I want a girl that look like this. She probably ain't on a dating app, brother.
The problem with dating apps is I don't want an algorithm or artificial intelligence picking who I'm going to date or marry. That doesn't make any sense to have a machine choose it for me. I would be better off with my parents setting up an arranged marriage 1800 style for me on some Pocahontas shit. But I'm not going to let that happen either, to be honest. The only dating app that I know of that doesn't use algorithms and doesn't use artificial intelligence is Circa, because Circa syncs your contacts, so it only pairs you with people that you actually know. It doesn't do the whole analysis breakdown, or you're compatible because your heights are similar and you're in the same religion. None of that shit. It just shows who you know. And here in the real world, it turns out that you actually are very compatible with people that you already know and the people who are already in your circle. But anyway, fellas and ladies, don't let a computer pick your husband and wife for you. Be smart.
People need to get off of these dating apps because it's convincing you that you're more desirable than you actually are. If you X someone out on Hinge, you're not rejecting that person. They didn't come up to you at a bar. Their profile got served to you through an algorithm. Odds are that person doesn't want you either, and it's creating this false illusion of choice, like there's all these people that want me. They don't.
I just got dinner with one of my good guy friends, and he's on the apps, and he was asking me for advice on his page, and I did a few like rearrangements and just stuff from the female gaze to fix it up and help him respond to stuff. But the amount of beautiful women that are on there that are messaging him, he's a handsome guy too, is just astronomical. Versus if you're someone who likes men, it's just not the same. It's just, it can't compare. There's just so many baddies to like. It's not the same for people who like men.
So I got on this kind of random dating app like a month ago because two of my friends told me about it. I had never heard of it, but basically the guys send you like roses on the app, and each rose is worth like $1.50, and you can collect them on the app and get like gift cards and shit like at Nobu and like Target. One of my friends told me that this guy sent her, when she first got on it, 1,000 roses, so she was like balling out and shit. And sure enough, I joined the app, and you can claim the roses and you don't have to match with them. I haven't matched with a single person. I don't even look at their profiles. I just claim. And they can send you multiple. And someone did send me 200 roses, and I did redeem that shit at Target, and I was up in Target with my fucking gift card. Then someone reaches out to me from the app being like, we have a matchmaking service as part of the app. Like, I'm getting these texts. And she's like, a couple of the guys, even though you're not part of the matchmaking service, a couple of the guys have seen your profile and have like requested you like specifically, like, would you be interested in like speaking on the phone about these guys, whatever. I was like, sure, why not? Like, I'm not locked in with anyone. Yeah, like, fuck it. Like, I should probably go on a couple dates. She had me tell her about myself, and like after all that, she's like, okay, like out of the ones that were interested in me, like I want to set you up with this one guy first. Like I feel like he'd be a really good match. I'm like, okay. Then she's like, what times are you free? Like I give her a few times, and then I realized I'm like, wait, I haven't even seen a picture of this person yet. Can you send me a picture? And she sends a picture, and he's not my type. Like he's just like that super like white ass type. He's not bad looking, but it's just not really my type. And I was like, well, and then she hits me with, she's like, if you don't go out with him, you're gonna be kicked off and be banned from the app or some shit. I was like, what? I walked in, like I gotta go on the date with the guy tomorrow, and she puts us in a group chat. Oh fuck, I hope he doesn't see this. But the place that he picked, I was like, what? I never even been to this place before. I wouldn't even go to this place with my friends for like a casual drink, you know? I mean, I know it's a spot, but it's not for me. That's not the type of shit I'd be doing. And I texted her, like the concierge or like the little dating coach that like was working with me, and I was like, bitch, like are these guys supposed to be like rich on the app? Because like I haha. And I was like, I really don't like the spot he picked, haha. No answer. So I either gotta text him and call it off. I do have his number now, or I'm not gonna be able to use this anymore, which honestly, you know, maybe the app has served its purpose.
Can someone please explain to me, like I'm 5 years old, why, okay, I've downloaded and uninstalled Hinge and Raya off my phone so many times. In the last 3 years that I've been single, I've never used the apps. I keep just deleting them because what do you call that feeling when you're putting your profile together and it just feels like, hear ye, hear ye. I just always feel like I'm auctioning myself. People like screenshot their Hinge messages and the pickup lines that people tell them, and I'm just like, sorry, that's just so disgusting. I don't think I've ever seen a single Hinge or Raya or Tinder screenshot where I was like, or it actually turned me on, or it made me actually want to like go spend time with a man. Every single screenshot I've ever seen has always made me want to go and hide away in a castle like a little princess, because I'm a lady. You do not speak to me like that. I don't care what year it is. Have some decorum. I don't know, it's just crazy to me. If you haven't found the love of your life yet, it's so over. We're so cooked. You have to learn how to be by yourself, because every time I download these apps and I think like, it won't hurt, every time I'm like, I cannot click complete profile. And I'm just like, dude, I just can't escape that feeling of like, dude, if you want to find a husband, go to Shields in Grapevine, Texas. Have you seen the trucks in that parking lot? Also, Costco on a Friday evening when the tech bros are preparing for their weekend barbecues. I think usually around May they start doing that. I feel like, especially as a bartender, the type of things that guys tell me to like hit on me, it's already so disgusting sometimes. Clicking complete profile probably feels like, to me, what I imagine, just totally naked in front of a whole city, like the entire metroplex, and being like, okay, who wants me? That's so crazy, you guys. That's so crazy. Take yourselves off the app, girls. What are we doing? Another thing too, I've had a ton of fake profiles of myself on these apps. If you've ever seen me, it's not me. I've never had a profile made. But that's another thing too. So I get a lot of messages of people like, oh, I've been talking to you for X amount of weeks or months and I've been sending you money. It's not me.
Dating apps are rigged, and not just for men, but for women as well. Most women will want a guy who's over 6 feet tall and earns over 6 figures. They will literally change the height preference to only 6 feet and above. Guess how many guys in the world are actually above 6 feet? 10 to 15% are over 6 feet and also earn 6 figures. 3%. Now, because most women want the same type of guy, all the other guys are just eliminated from the dating app pool. They have to do 1,000 swipes for a coffee date. Versus the top percentage of the guys who are at least 6 feet or above and relatively good looking will get literally all the matches. Now, the reason this is also a fucked problem for women is that they all want the same guy. And that makes it so that the guy doesn't know which girl to choose because he has so many options. Become wrapped in this mindset of, oh, what if there's somebody who's better than her? The woman wants to sleep with the guy sleeps with her and then never texts her back. And the woman just feels more insecure and calls him a fuckboy and a playboy and then starts hating men. All women generally want the top percentage of guys. All the other guys get ignored. While those top percentage of guys have too many options to choose from and will never commit to an actual girl. So if you're a guy who's not in the top percentage, you should continue to try to be at the top percentage. And if you're a guy who's in the top percentage, you should focus on literally figuring out your commitment issues, because you're going to die alone if you don't end up committing. And if you're a girl, you should try to figure out what you are willing to compromise on, because short kings generally have the best personalities. Guys who are 6'5" generally have zero personality because they don't need it. All the girls come flocking to them anyways by them literally just looking tall. Summary of the video: women, start giving short kings a chance. All right, comment down below what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
I've been having some conversations with my girlfriends recently who use dating apps, and I basically am advocating for every single girl to get off Hinge, get off Bumble, get off Tinder, any app that you're using, even Raya, get off the apps. I have personally used every single app under the sun, and I have had some very good experiences. I met some great people, but honestly, I so much prefer meeting people in person. And as a naturally very shy person who previously would just sit in a corner, I would never make eye contact. I had to work so hard on, how I came across, and I always kind of felt like other people should come to me, right? And I think that is fair in a sense, but I also feel like it's important to be able to create space for people to do that. And I could really hide behind the apps. I could hide my shyness. I could hide my lack of confidence behind the apps, and deleting them all and forcing myself to go out and have real life conversations with real people has helped me massively, not only in my social life, but also in my business life, networking, the people that I've met, the friends that I've met and have kept to this day, and the relationships that I've had are of such higher quality than if I'd met these people through apps. Of course, you can meet great people on these apps, but I just think it's few and far between. And yes, in 2026, I'm going to be spending less time on my phone and more time in the real world. And I want you to be able to do that too.